Nikita is a former government assassin who escaped 3 years ago from the agency called Division and is now being hunted. A group of masked individuals are robbing a pharmaceutical company. A guard tries to fight back, but is swiftly shot. The cops turn up, but one of the masked robbers drops one of the bags and ends up getting caught, revealing her identity as Alex, a troubled teen. Alex is taken to a secure government facility where she meets Division Agent Michael, who informs her that in the eyes of the public, she has been declared dead and will now be given a new life by the government. She wonders why her, and learns that her age, lack of personal ties, and paper trail make her an ideal candidate. Alex tries to run, but is grabbed by Michael, who tells her life is over, but she has the chance to start a new one. He plans to train her to become a real woman and to defend her country instead of herself. 3 years earlier, Nikita arrives at a party and catches the attention of the boss Guillermo, who invites her to join him in his personal pool. She accepts and joins him, but suddenly snaps his neck before fighting off his bodyguards. She contacts Michael for extraction, but Michael appears behind her and shoots her in the head. In the present, Nikita visits her adopted father Gary, attacks him, and breaks his wrist. She explains that after his abuse, she got with a bad crowd, ended up killing a cop, and got sentenced to death. Her death, however, was faked by Division, who trained her to become an assassin, but she ended up breaking the Division's rule to never fall in love. She had a 3-month relationship with a man named Daniel, but Division killed him and is now hunting her. She knows Division has been keeping tabs with Gary, and she wants to send them the message that everything will end soon. Michael and Division head Percival Rose are planning to assassinate a General Safwani before he can speak to the United Nations. Percy is then alerted that Nikita has been spotted and orders Michael to hunt her down and kill her. Alex enters the cafeteria with other Division recruits when another recruit, Jaden, tries bullying her, but Alex attacks her and pulls a fork, but they are broken up by recruit Tom. He thinks they are all the same and should stick together if they plan to make it out. Michael visits Gary, wanting every detail he can on Nikita, but when Gary cannot give them anything, he is killed by Percy's right-hand Monroe. Nikita goes to visit Daniel's grave. She recalls the day he proposed to her, and she leaves the engagement ring on his tombstone. Percy's tech lead Burkhoff picks up Nikita at the cemetery, so Percy decides to assemble a team as they are closer to her than Michael. Alex visits a room where she meets Amanda, the woman in charge of transforming her from a reckless teen into a woman. She reveals the agency is aware of Alex's Ukrainian background and how she was trafficked to the USA, where she had a hard life, but she plans to teach Alex to get in touch with her more feminine side. A Division hit team soon arrives at the cemetery with Burkhoff keeping watch in the car. They see her and open fire, but it turns out to be a decoy. Burkhoff alerts the agents that Nikita is moving, but she is actually holding him at gunpoint, then knocks him out. She takes him to an unknown location, planning to torture him unless he gives her access to Division networks. But Burkhoff refuses, as he knows Percy would kill him if he does. She threatens to shoot him, but cannot bring herself to, as Burkhoff reminds her how they once worked well together. Michael picks up Burkhoff's implant signal and finds him bound in a playground. Alex joins the recruits for their sparring session. There she learns that Tom is set to be a part of the upcoming Black Arrow mission to take out General Safwani, and is jealous that he gets to kill someone. Alex is shocked to learn that she is to become an assassin, and Jaden tells her it's either she kills or she will be killed. Burkhoff returns to Percy and Michael, lying that Nikita was unable to crack him and he overpowered her easily. Michael, however, is suspicious and suggests closing down all operations until she is contained, calling her a threat, but Percy cannot allow one rogue agent to dictate their movements and wants all operations continued. Soon, Nikita receives intel on Operation Black Arrow going down at a New York hotel and prepares herself. Meanwhile, a heavily guarded Safwani is in his hotel preparing to have a meal while a lone guard waits in the lobby. A Division agent disguised as hotel staff secretly drugs the guard's water, and he soon feels ill and rushes to the bathroom where Tom knocks him out with chloroform. The other guards radio for him and hear nothing, but this is all according to plan. Suddenly Nikita shows up and takes out a Division agent. Tom puts up a fight, but eventually gets knocked out. Nikita then passes Safwani's guards, who arrive at the bathroom to find their man down. Meanwhile, Nikita takes out Safwani's lone guard and then knocks him out. She is leaving the hotel room with him when she runs into Roan, but Safwani's guards return and try to restrain him, allowing Nikita to escape while Roan kills the guards. He goes after her, but she escapes with Safwani in his car and brings him to the United Nations. He is shocked to know the Americans are attacking him, but she explains that the division is a rogue unit contracted to take him out before he can end the civil war in his country and drive out the oil companies. He asks who she is, but Nikita tells him she is the end of division. Alex goes to see Amanda, pretending to ask for help, but suddenly holds scissors to her throat, demanding to leave. She doesn't want to kill anyone, but if Amanda doesn't lead her to the elevators, she will be the first. Amanda nonchalantly explains that there is no way out, and that division is protectors, not killers. She urges Alex to stop running and realize that she is home, and plans to overlook this incident if she lowers the scissors. At a function in Washington, Percy meets with the Director of National Intelligence who received intel from the CIA regarding illegal high-level espionage activities and reminds Percy that he works for him, but Percy denies knowing anything. He then learns that Operation Black Arrow was sabotaged by Nikita and he wants her found, but Nikita shows up to the event with a senator on her arm. Michael causes her to spill her drink on the senator and take him away. Now alone with Percy, she makes it clear she can get to him anytime, but she plans to take down the entire division with him piece by piece. Percy reveals he planned for this and has her surrounded, and she sees some suspicious waiters eyeing her. So she sets off an explosion outside and takes out the division agents before escaping the room. Michael goes after her and catches her in an alley and disarms her. He wonders why she returned when she was free, but Nikita is determined to stop Percy. Michael then reveals that Percy has evidence of every job division ever did locked in files all over the world and will crash the country if he goes down. He, however, knows her true motive is revenge for Daniel, reminding her that she should have never fallen in love, but Nikita reminds him that they were in love once. She tells him to let her go or kill her, and Michael lowers his gun. Nikita then shoots him in the shoulder to cover her escape. Percy briefs his division agents, placing Nikita as their #1 target. He suspects she is being helped by someone or a group and wants them all found and killed. We then see Nikita communicating with her partner, who turns out to be Alex, who has been playing division all along, trained by none other than Nikita herself. Nikita goes to purchase weapons from an arms dealer, Trevor. The deal is going well until Trevor pulls a gun on her, revealing he wants the bounty division has placed on her head, but his gun is empty and Nikita holds him at gunpoint. In return for his life, she tells him to keep his mouth shut and plans to take all his guns. We then meet Mirko Dadik, a Ukrainian dictator recently released from prison due to technicality and has hired Division to be his security. He is led to his convoy where Percy is personally there to escort him. Burkhoff is training the new recruits to hack, but they all end up failing. Worse, Alex hasn't even launched her exploit, so he dismisses everyone except her and demands she get it right or get kicked out. Percy and Michael escort Dadik to his hotel, where it's revealed that he hired Division to start a coup in his country and return him to power in 6 months. Dadik, however, reminds them that his accounts are still frozen, but Percy isn't interested in money and instead wants the uranium Dadik secretly stashed away before he fled his country. Dadik is taken aback, but Percy reassures him the U.S. government won't be involved in their deal. Dadik requests time to think the deal over, plus some other pleasures to make his stay more comfortable, and Percy agrees. Michael notes that 5 years ago they would have taken out someone like Dadik, but Percy wants to think of him as a client and their way to secure independent funding. He doesn't plan to use an escort service and shockingly orders him to send Alex. Meanwhile, Alex reaches out to Nikita, revealing that their plan to have everyone underestimate her is working. Nikita is aware of Division's latest protection mission and wants to know who the client is, and while Alex doesn't have that info, she is determined to find out, ignoring Nikita's warnings to lay low. A flashback 1 year ago reveals how a junkie Alex went to her dealer for drugs, but the dealer takes her cash and decides to have his way with her, until Nikita bursts in and takes them all out before rescuing Alex. In the present, Alex is with the other recruits when Michael announces that she has been activated for an op, leaving Jaden angry that Alex has been activated before her. Amanda is doing Alex's makeup, reassuring her that she has made a lot of progress and is ready, when she expresses her doubts. Alex still has no idea what the mission is, but Amanda tells her it is rude to question the gift of being activated. Another flashback reveals how Alex wakes up in a portable sauna at Nikita's base, who explains it will help her to get clean. Alex thinks she just needs to come down easy, but Nikita tells her there is no easy way down. Alex begs for a hit, but Nikita just walks away. In the present, Alex arrives at Datika's room where she realizes what her mission is. Datika gets her alone, but Alex asks to use the bathroom and grabs the room phone along the way. She contacts Nikita, revealing that Datika is the client and gives their location. So Nikita grabs her rifle and rushes out. She gets to the building across from Datika's room and prepares herself. Meanwhile, Alex is trying to stall Datika. She tries to pull away from him, but Datika smacks her and begins to attack her. Nikita is unable to get a clear shot and grabs her pistol when she spots another armed team heading into the hotel. Michael cannot listen to the struggle any longer and attacks Datika when the armed group launches their attack on the agents. While Michael is fighting off the men, one of the attackers, a woman, grabs Datika. Nikita, who is back on her rifle, sees the fight and kills Michael's attacker, but the woman escapes with Datika. Back at base, Percy is trying to get any information on their attackers out of Alex, and Michael tells him Alex was never ready in the first place. But Percy wants results instead of excuses and orders him to find Datika. They then check on one of the attackers they captured, but the man is only repeating the word Osvita, so Percy decides to call in the Inquisitor. Michael reveals that Osvita means vengeance, and the attackers are Ukrainian freedom fighters seeking revenge against Datika. Percy thinks Nikita is working with the freedom fighters, and despite Michael's doubts, Percy thinks Nikita will lead him to Datika. The Inquisitor then turns out to be Amanda. Nikita is trying to get through to Alex and is worried about her. Another flashback shows how after Alex's detox, she demands to know what Nikita plans to do with her, but Nikita's only intention is to help her. Alex doesn't trust her and thinks she is trapped, so Nikita tells her she is free to leave at any time. Burkhoff and Michael are working on tracking down Nikita from her bullet, suspecting she must have contacted a dealer. Amanda then returns from her interrogation, revealing that the freedom fighters are also after the uranium. They track down Nikita's bullet to Trevor, and Michael is beating Nikita's location out of him when Nikita calls asking to speak with him. He realizes she isn't working with the freedom fighters, then explains their goal. Turns out Datika has a GPS device which shows the uranium's location in Eastern Europe. If the freedom fighters get their hands on the uranium, Nikita will be labeled a terrorist and hunted by Percy. She thinks this might expose his dealings with Datika, but Michael reveals that the government knows everything, but no one can touch him due to his little black boxes. Alex gets in contact with Nikita, telling her about the blonde woman when Jaden appears and attacks her, wanting to beat her ass for being a teacher's pet. Alex fights back, but purposely destroys her computer, ending her communication with Nikita until division agents come to break them up. Nikita reviews the recordings from Datika's release and spots the blonde woman. Division also finds out her identity as Hannah Kushko, whose father was once one of Datika's nuclear scientists, which explains her knowledge of the uranium, and knows if they don't recover the GPS device, it's over. Nikita identifies the van that Hannah escaped in, then calls the cops to report the van stolen. Inside the van, Hannah reveals her father's connection to Datika, who was executed after he abandoned the country. Datika swears he will reclaim the country, but Hannah plans to sell the uranium to take care of her family and demands that he lead them to the GPS device. Nikita soon hears police chatter about the van and heads out. Burkhoff finds footage of Datika's arrest from 2 years ago where they see him enter the station 15 minutes before his arrest carrying a bag and suspect it to be the GPS device. Nikita arrives at the train station where she sees the van being towed. Inside, Datika hands over a bag to Hannah when Nikita snatches the bag, kicking off a gunfight. Michael and division agents then turn up and take on the freedom fighters, gunning them all down, including Hannah. Nikita takes off running with Michael after her, and he holds her at gunpoint across the train tracks. He hesitates, and Nikita tosses the bag underneath a train, but when the train passes, he sees that the bag is empty. He still reports to Percy that the GPS is destroyed, but worse, the train station gunfight will attract public attention. So Percy plans to spin a story that Michael foiled the trade of nuclear material organized by Datika. With this, Michael knows what his orders are, and he kills Dadik. Nikita hears the news reports and gives Percy credit for the save. Another flashback shows how Nikita returned home to find Alex passed out from an overdose. She resuscitates her, but Alex doesn't want to live as everyone she loves is already dead. Nikita then reveals that she knows about her parents' deaths and who killed them, telling her she has a reason to live. Division soon identifies a freelance reporter, Jill Morelli, who they find out has intel on their latest operation, so Percy orders a team to grab her. Alex also hears mention of the latest operation. She recalls 3 months ago how Nikita informed her on the layout of Division base, telling her to pay close attention to the operations room if they are to take Division down. To get close to the room, Alex goes to pick a fight with Jaden. The fight gets her up close to glass where she sees the latest target before the fight is broken up, then later passes the name to Nikita. Meanwhile, Jill ambushes her boss Jeremy in the parking lot, wanting to publish a story on the Air America plane crash. Her source has video evidence of black helicopters landing at the site before the fires and wants 50 grand to hand it over, but Jeremy reminds her they're not TMZ. Suddenly, Jeremy is killed by Division agents, who force the gun into Jill's hands and shooting Jeremy again before knocking her out and throwing her into a van. But before they leave the parking lot, Nikita kills the driver, causing the van to crash. Then she grabs Jill. We then see Percy going to visit Air America CEO Mr. Sampson, who is not pleased about the parking lot murder as he paid Division to keep things quiet. But Percy reminds him they were only contracted to clean up his plane crash and collect his cargo, but promises to find and destroy the video. Percy also thinks Nikita's interference was a result of a leak inside Air America, but Sampson warns him to check his own house. Jill wakes in Alex's apartment still in shock, but Nikita manages to calm her down, explaining she is safe. Nikita wonders why Division is after her, and Jill explains that she was contacted online by a man who claimed to have video evidence of government ops, and she even met him in Virginia. However, he wanted 50 grand to release the tape. She was to receive a call from him to set up the exchange today at 1. So Nikita grabs a gun and prepares to head out to intercept the videotape. Percy relays his suspicions of a high-level breach to Michael, and they soon turn their attention to Burkhoff, as he had a prolonged interaction with Nikita after which she released him. He swears that he is not a mole, but Percy orders him to be taken to Amanda. Nikita accompanies Jill to her job, pretending like she belongs there. They slip into an office where Nikita reassembles Jill's cell phone, and Michael instantly gets their location. The source soon calls, wanting the money and refusing to give his name. So Nikita pretends to be Jill's editor, refusing to give him the money unless she is certain. The young man explains that while hiking he saw the plane crash, but when the choppers arrived, instead of bodies, the men removed tons of drugs from the plane. The two then plan to meet tomorrow at 10 for the exchange. Outside, Michael and other Division agents arrive at the newspaper office. Meanwhile, Amanda is interrogating Burkhoff about his interaction with Nikita, but he swears she only told him about her plans to destroy Division and nothing more. Amanda continues to push him, hinting that he may have developed an emotional connection to Nikita during her time with Division, and this may be his motivation to feed her intel. But Burkhoff turns the tables, accusing Amanda of not training Nikita well enough to keep her around. Hearing his remarks, Amanda orders Burkhoff be given a brain scan and a full body cavity search. Michael wants to use some of the recruits to help track Jill down, but Percy doesn't want them given her full profile as he cannot risk their morals interfering with their mission and another Nikita situation. The recruits are presented with Jill's belongings under the guise of a training exercise and told that she was a terrorist planning to meet an ammunitions expert, and their goal is to uncover the identity of the ammunitions expert and where the meet was to take place. Nikita and Jill stop at a diner for a meal. Jill is still shaken up over Jeremy's death and wonders why he had to die. Nikita explains that once they get the video, they will be able to take Sampson down for his drug smuggling, but she will never take down the men coming after them. Jill wants to know who they are, but learns their attackers don't actually exist in any government system, and going to the cops or news station would be useless. 2 cops then enter the diner. Nikita tries to slip out with Jill, but is forced to take down the cops when they try to stop them. Michael and Percy go to see Amanda, who has uncovered a tiny wireless transmitter embedded in Burkhoff's tooth, which they suspect was placed there when he was passed out. Nikita and Jill arrive at the meet location, a university campus, but see no sign of their source. And while Tom, Jaden, Alex, and the other recruits are working on finding their ammunitions expert, Nikita and Jill are trying to track him down. Alex figures out the meet location and explains she found out by using movie theater tickets. Michael takes her to Burkhoff, who then hacks into the theater's surveillance system, and they soon see Jill meeting with her source on the day of the movie and pull the source's name as Benjamin Prentice. Alex now realizes the training exercise was cover for an actual mission. Even worse, a reporter and a student are involved. She wants to join Michael on the mission, but he suggests she stay in the ops room, leaving her unable to alert Nikita. Nikita and Jill track down Prentice, who is scared of them at first until Nikita manages to calm him down, telling him they're the good guys. But if she was able to find him, then the black helicopter guys will soon too. Prentice eventually calms down and shows them the video he took of the plane crash. Nikita tries to upload it, but their internet has been jammed, and outside, division vans block the street. Nikita grabs a gun and prepares herself for the fight, but Prentice, thinking the men are the feds, rushes outside to them but gets shot and killed, and his body taken away. Just then, local police arrive on the scene, forcing Michael and the agents to retreat. It turns out to be Alex, who has secretly alerted cops to Jill's location after spilling Burkhoff's drink. Nikita tells Jill to surrender to the cops, which will buy them some time, and urges her to tell her story. Jill surrenders to the cops and is taken into custody, but they see no sign of Nikita inside. Michael sends one team to follow the cops while he and a few agents decide to clear the house themselves. The men enter the house, but Nikita swiftly takes out one agent. Michael calls out to her, telling her they found her bug and it's over for her. Nikita responds, and one agent thinks he hears her from the closet and sprays it with bullets. There they see a Bluetooth speaker, and Nikita uses the distraction to launch her attack, killing the other agent before getting into a fight with Michael. The two unleash all their skills. He locks her arm, but Nikita dislocates her shoulder and knocks him out before escaping. We then see Percy watching news reports of Samson's arrest, as it is reported that the men in the black helicopters that retrieved the drugs were the Vargas cartel. Nikita meets up with Jill, who is now a full-fledged reporter, warning her to stop digging. Jill still wants names, but Nikita tells her her ignorance is the only reason she is still alive.